Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tyler, and today's video is entitled INTP Advice, Develop a Growth Mindset. So I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not a big fan of self-help for the most part. I think a lot of the things and a lot of the books out there can help you, but most of the time I think a lot of it's just to kind of psych you out in the moment, and then later on you just come back down to earth. And I plan on making a separate video at some point on my thoughts on self-help and why I think it fails most of the time. But today's video is kind of a self-help topic, but it doesn't have anything to do with happiness, it doesn't have anything to do with feeling good about yourself. Really what I'm trying to convey to you today is that, not trying and giving up isn't helping anybody. And if you really ever want to have success in life, then you have to get out of that. You can't not try. That's the way you can assure that you'll never have success, is by just giving up. And that's really what the topic is about today. Developing that growth mindset just to have a better life overall. My first topic here is INTPs and apathy. And I think that's why this topic is so important for INTPs, is because I would say out of any of the other MBTI types, INTPs are the most prone to apathy. To asking, what's the point? Why should I even try? The whole world is against me. No matter what I do, it's just not going to work out. And I think this can be very damaging to an INTP. It can really cause them to not live the life that they want to live, to not live up to their potential. And we'll talk about that more here. So I already said this, out of all the MBTI types, the INTP is most likely to have an apathetic attitude towards life in general. And this is for a multitude of reasons. This isn't just for a couple different reasons, but really we can see all the flaws in society and feel like there's just nothing we can do about it to help out. We feel like we don't have the voice. We feel like we don't have the social skills to really make a difference. We can see all these crazy things that are going on in society and just think, what the heck is going on? But we can feel like the louder voices in the room are going to overpower us. And this can really make us feel like it's not even worth trying. We can just laugh ourselves to all the craziness that's going on around us, but we're not going to really do anything. There's really no point. And this apathy can also have a lot to do with the FE and fear. This can make it feel like we don't fit in, like we don't belong. All these other people have it so easy, making friends, having conversations. Why is this so difficult for me? This can really get us down. This can really make us feel inferior sometimes to everybody else, and just make us feel like we want to give up. So apathy and cynicism can lead to feelings of depression, anxiety, and a general feeling of dread. INTPs can really feel tired of everything. They don't want to deal with anything. They can say, no matter how hard I try, nothing's just ever going to go my way. There's always something that comes out of nowhere that just brings me down, and it's not my fault. So what is the point of all this? Why should I even try to develop a side business? Why should I even try and go make friends? And I really understand this attitude, but it's doing you no good. Having an apathetic attitude is possibly one of the worst things that an INTP can do. I understand life's hard. I understand that you get kicked down, but you have to get back up. You have to try. And that's really what I'm going to talk about today. And another thing, having an apathetic attitude, what does that really help? Is that helping anything? I think I know the reason why we develop apathetic attitudes toward life. Because we just don't want to really feel like it's our fault. We want to make it so it makes logical sense in our mind why we don't even want to try. Because if nothing matters, if nothing is ever going to happen to us, what's the point of trying? And we use that as a logic to make excuses for why we're not doing so well. Make excuses for why we're not making as much money as we want. Why we don't have the relationships we want. But that logic is totally flawed. It's not helping you whatsoever. It's really doing you a lot of harm. So the stagnant mindset, this is what all of this can lead to. So due to what we discussed, INTPs can fall into the trap of having a stagnant mindset. And so what is this stagnant mindset? What does this really mean? It means in our minds, we feel like nothing will ever change. Everything will stay the same. We'll always make the same amount of money. We'll always hang out with the same people. This is basically just the way it is, and it's never going to get better. And I call this a trap because this is very easy for the INTP to get into. If you have the strong belief that nothing's ever going to change, nothing's ever going to get better, you're going to fall into that TISI loop of death that we always talk about. You're going to go to work, you're going to come home, you're going to do the same thing day in and day out. Nothing changing, nothing exciting happening in your life. And this is just going to be an awful feeling. This is going to be an awful life to live. You cannot fall into this trap of never trying to get better. So those with a stagnant mindset believe they will never make any more money than they do right now. They'll never get a better job. They feel like they'll never have better relationships or have a better life overall. These are the cards I was dealt. Nothing I do changes anything. What's the point? I'm just going to live my meager existence, and it is what it is. But today I want to challenge that viewpoint. I want to challenge that mindset. It isn't just what it is. You have the power to change. If there's one thing that you can say about people that have had true success, it's that they actually tried. They got off their butt and they tried to do something, or they tried to make a product and become successful. Just an example off the top of my head, just think about the iPhone. The original iPhone was amazing back in 2005 or whenever it was. People just could not believe how great this thing was, and they thought, wow, this is it. This is what we have. But if Apple hadn't continued to change it, to make it better, find out ways to make the Apple iPhone sell more phones every single year, then it probably would end up being a failure. Something better would have came out. If you try to use an iPhone like the original iPhone nowadays, it probably would be unusable. But things are always changing. Things are always improving. And if you develop this stagnant mindset that nothing's ever going to change, there's no reason to even try, you're going to be left behind. And there really is no reason for that. So like I've been saying the whole time, this type of outlook can be very damaging for the INTP, especially the INTP. So I guess the first question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to be successful? Do you actually want the responsibilities of a successful person? And some of you may say no. Some of you may say, my life's fine. It may not be the best, but I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with the life that I'm currently living. And if everything stayed the same forever, it would be fine. But if you're on the other side of the coin, if you think your life can get better, if you think that there is a reason to actually try, you do want to have success in your life, you do want to live the life that you envision, you cannot accept this attitude. You cannot accept that you're always going to be the same person. You're not going to be the same person in 5 years from now. You're not going to be the same person 10 years, 20, 30 years from now. Everything is going to be changing. And like I want to talk about on this next slide here, the world marches on, with or without you. So today I want to challenge your apathy. I want to challenge your stagnant mindset. You need to get out of this and adopt a growth mindset. This mindset, may not give you success, but if you're going to succeed at all, you're going to have to adopt this. All right, that brings me to our next topic. Times are changing with or without you. And I think this invalidates the whole stagnant mindset attitude. I mean, honestly, just think about it, guys. Humanity has been changing ever since the beginning of time. There was times that we lived in caves. There was times that you had to go hunt for your food. But humans are on top of the food chain now because we have kept changing. We have kept making things a little bit better. We made the wheel, then we made the car, we made the airplane. Life even 100 years ago was radically different than it is today. And you got to think that is not that long ago. That is the lifespan of a very healthy person. And I think even in today's times, things are changing so rapidly, it's almost hard to keep up with. There always seems to be a new technology, a new way of doing things. Now we're getting into traveling to space. There will be a time in the future where somebody lands on Mars. Times just keep changing. And if you're trying to stay the same, it's just not going to work out. Think of businesses like Kodak, Radio Shack, these businesses that were thriving in their time, but as things continue to change, as things continue to evolve, and now they barely even exist, and even when they do, it's something totally different than what their original business model was. But this is just the way things are. Humanity as a species will continue marching on with all these new technologies, all these new ideas, and this will continue until the end of our time. So because of this, a lot of times without even realizing it, we are adapting to a change just to keep up with the times. 15 years ago, people didn't even know what Facebook was. And now it's almost like you have to have a Facebook to have a real identity. Things that you may not even know exist right now might play a big part in your life 20 years from now. Whether you realize it or not, you're always changing. You're always adapting. Maybe the true career that you belong to isn't even a thing yet. You have to realize that your situation will not always be the same for the rest of your life. Things are going to change. So this idea of having a stagnant mindset, it just doesn't even make any sense. However, it's really up to you whether your change is a good thing or a detrimental thing to your life. And if you want to have success in your life, you need to realize that change is not a bad thing. Change is actually a good thing that you can expand upon. And you got to think, as INTPs, we kind of have an advantage to this even. We can make sense of all these new technologies, all these new advances. Especially if we take an interest in something, we can quickly become experts. And maybe there's an idea or product that you can bring to humanity. You know, I talked about the iPhone earlier and Apple. Everybody thinks of Steve Jobs when you think of Apple, but you got to remember his partner, Steve Wozniak. Steve Wozniak was an INTP. So I never want you to think that you're not capable, that you can't do it, that you can't start a successful business, that you can't have a successful life. But if you ever want to get to these points of having success, you always have to try. You always have to keep improving. And if you start on your project, start on your world-changing thing or whatever it is, who knows, you could be a complete success. And even if it's not a success, it's still better than never trying. All that time that you're putting in to doing your project, you're learning, you're doing something new. You're exploring topics with your NE parent. And this will be an upcoming video when I talk about NE parent. You have to use this. This is a very good trait that we have. You have to be curious. You have to explore your topics of interest. But then you have to have some willpower to follow through and make it a project that you can, possibly make money. Another example was Bitcoin. Bitcoin wasn't even a thing before 2009. But now, today, in 2021, the market cap of Bitcoin as of this recording is over $1 trillion. $1 trillion for a technology that didn't even exist 15 years ago. And that doesn't even include all of the altcoins such as Ethereum. Learning new topics, reading, trying new things. These are great things for an INTP to do. And I think if you do these things, it will make you feel better about yourself and just be more content with life. Alright, with all that being said, we'll now talk about the growth mindset, the main point of this whole video. So what is the growth mindset exactly? Basically, it's the attitude to constantly seek improvement and adapt in a positive way. Every day you're going to wake up, you're going to study, you're going to make observations. And based on these studies, you're going to improve your life a little bit every single day. This is the idea that things are always going to be changing for me. I'm going to keep up with the times, so to speak. This is the idea that I have a project in me. I have a book in me. I have the mindset to make better relationships, whatever you want in life. And I'm telling you guys, as an INTP, you can be very good at this, but you just have to have the right attitude. Life is not always going to be easy. You're going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. But you can never give up on yourself. You can never stop trying to improve yourself. As I talk about in a lot of my other videos, the INTP has TI Hero and NE Parent, which in my opinion is the best top 2 functions that you can have. All of our other functions aren't that great, to be honest, but our top 2 really help us, and if we use these cognitive functions correctly, we can become successful. And if we really dive into a project, if we really give it our all to reach our goal, whatever that might be, you have the ways and means to get there. When I talked about the TI-SI loop of death, you're not using your NE parent in that whatsoever. It's being totally ignored. You have to continue to seek out ways to help yourself and possibly the world. Everything you do in life may not be a success, but capabilities are there for you. You just have to get out of the stagnant mindset. You have to get out of your apathy and develop this growth mindset that things are always changing. I'm going to improve. I'm going to be a success. And even if I'm not, at least I'm going to try. Like I've been saying, trying and failing is much better than never trying at all. As I've said many times before, I believe side businesses are essential for an INTP. And even if it's not a business, it's just some kind of side hobby. This could be stock trading. This could be Bitcoin mining. Who knows? I do not want you to just sit in your chair and let life pass you by. I just want you guys to always remember that trying is so much better than never trying at all. Because, I mean, honestly, you're going to learn so many lessons from doing your project. You're going to feed your TI hero with lessons that it can expand its worldview on. I tried this, it didn't work out. I'm never going to do that again. I should have done things this way. I should have done things with a little bit more focus on this area. Constantly learning, constantly improving, making little changes to your life to eventually become more successful. But I'll be honest with you guys, this transition from a stagnant mindset to a growth mindset is not easy to do. If you're used to blaming your failures on things out of your control, if you develop that apathetic attitude that everything I do is just going to be shot down, it's going to be hard to break those beliefs. At the end of the day, you are in control of your life. You are the one in control if you're successful or not. You have an advantage with TI Hero, so you can know yourself, you can understand yourself and your weaknesses, and just try to improve on those. We have FE and fear, so maybe our social skills aren't the greatest, but this is something you can learn about. This is something that you can improve on. You can research things such as body language, such as MBTI. We're going to have a video in the future on how you can gain influence with somebody if you know their MBTI type. Things are not against you in life. That is just an excuse that you're using. So you have to break this attitude. You have to get out of the TISI loop of death. Because if you don't, things are just never going to change and you're just not going to feel very satisfied with your life. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm not a big fan of self-help, because getting yourself psyched out, getting yourself ready to go today might help you today, it might help you for a week. But habits are really truly going to make or break you. If you start working on a project today and then you just quit 2 weeks from now, you didn't make it a habit to try to work on that. If there's one self-help book out there that's really, really helpful, that can truly change your life, it's Atomic Habits. Your success truly hinges on making good habits and keeping them. And this doesn't just have to be on doing a side business or whatever. This can be working out, eating better, trying to be more social, going out to gatherings more often. This is really the only true way to make successful changes in your life. And just always remember, if you develop this growth mindset and you're trying and you're at least, putting something on paper, anything you achieve will make you proud. Who knows, you might be a success. You really never know. When I started this channel, I thought, I'd be so excited if I could get 1,000 subscribers. But, now today I'm over 3,000 subscribers. And who knows how far this channel might go in the future. I don't know. But I just started. I just tried. I made the YouTube account. I made my first video. I made my first PowerPoint. And then I went from there. But if you're apathetic all the time, if you're a cynic, if you kind of look down on people who actually try to achieve some success in their life and they have a little bit of growing pains or they're a failure, you're just never going to make it. You're never going to be happy with yourself. You have to develop this growth mindset that, hey, a year from now, I'm going to be a totally different person. I'm going to be more successful. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to have more, relationships, whatever. This is the best way, in my opinion. Alright, that brings me to my final topic of the day. Choose lifelong learning over apathy. So as INTPs, with our gift of TI Hero, we really need to commit ourselves to being lifelong learners. So instead of just accepting your life, accepting your failures, looking for information out there, looking for a different way to approach it, always seeking new information on our topics of interest. This stagnant mindset that you have is getting you nowhere. You have to quit asking, what is the point of trying? Well, the point of trying is to make yourself more successful and happy in life. There is just no reason for you to accept failure. Believe it or not, you have advantages in life. The most complex problems in the world are the INTPs to solve. I want to challenge you today to just grow a little bit every single day. Always be ready to accept new challenges, accept new changes. Be adaptable. If you're starting to get down on yourself or feeling you're a failure, just continue to research. Continue to read books. I said I didn't like self-help, but there are a lot of books out there that can help you and that have nuggets of information. Like I said, Atomic Habits is an example. 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson is another example of a very good book to read. Instead of spending all your time on social media or playing video games, try a little bit every day to learn something new, or at least research your topic a little bit more. This is what using your NE parent is all about. Letting your imagination run wild. Going down that rabbit hole of something that you really enjoy learning about. And if you find things that are beneficial to you, you need to actually take action on any lessons that you learn along the way. If you're trying to get a dating partner, if you're trying to date more, one lesson you need to learn is that exercise is going to help you a lot. So are you going to act on that? Are you actually going to put in the effort to get a relationship, to look better? If you learn something new that's really helpful and you don't act on it, it doesn't help anything whatsoever. And this is a fatal flaw for the INTP, the very bad lack of follow-through. This is because of our SI child. This is because of our TE nemesis. But you have to start taking action in life and following through, or nothing's ever going to really change. If you don't commit to being a lifelong learner, you're not using your full abilities as an INTP. Because this is what we can really excel at: learning, adapting, using all these positive changes that we're bringing to ourselves to achieve success. As I've been saying this whole time, you have the potential. You have a good cognitive function stack. It may not be the best, honestly, but your top 2 functions are really going to help you. We're always using our TI hero, but if you ignore that NE parent, it can really have detrimental effects on your life. And again, just what if you do become successful? Are you ready for those responsibilities? Are you actually choosing apathy over success just because you don't want to deal with it? But if you truly think about it, if you truly dwell on it, and you do want to have more success in your life, and honestly, who doesn't? You have to get yourself out there. You have to try. You have to make that product. You have to start that YouTube channel. You have to write that book. Whatever it is, just keep trying. Never give up. The apathetic INTP will never succeed. There's no way they can, because they're never going to try at all. They're going to keep living their meager existence until they die, basically. So just to summarize the whole video today, never give up. Keep trying, because who knows, if you do try and you actually try to improve yourself and your life, all your dreams may come true. Well, that's all I have today, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I focus on INTP growth, but honestly, a lot of the lessons can apply to anybody. If you found this video to be helpful or entertaining, please like it. That does help with the YouTube algorithm, so I always appreciate that. And as always, please leave your comments below. If you disagree with me on something, that's fine. Just let me know and we can have a debate about it. I always appreciate the kind comments that you guys leave saying that these videos do help you. That keeps me motivated to keep making these videos and trying to put content out. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.